"Move aside, old man, you're ruining the photo." The tourist's voice cut through the air like a blade. Cameras clicked, laughter echoed, and there he was, an old man in a wrinkled uniform, sitting quietly in a wheelchair, his trembling hand lifted in salute toward a silent Queen's Guard. People stared, some scoffed. Does he think the guard's going to wave back? Look at him. Probably just wants attention. But Thomas Grayson didn't flinch. His arm stayed raised, wobbly, slow, but full of steel. Not to entertain, not to beg, but to honor. His grandson Liam stood beside him, jaw clenched. "Grandpa, you don't have to." "I do," Thomas whispered. "This is for them." The guard didn't move. That's how it's always been. Cold, controlled, untouchable. The tourists lost interest, but Thomas kept his hand in the air even as it began to fall under its own weight. Until something happened that no one could explain. The guard blinked, stepped forward, one step, then another, gasps, phones lifted. "Is this part of the show?" someone muttered. It wasn't. The Queen's Guard, trained to remain stone-faced, walked directly to the old veteran. No commands, no orders, just something deeper, something that broke through centuries of protocol. And in the middle of Buckingham Palace, in front of hundreds, the guard raised his hand and returned the salute. Not casually, not as a gesture, but with the sharp, respectful precision reserved for generals. Silence. A woman in the crowd started crying. A little boy whispered, "Why is everyone so quiet?" Because they'd just witnessed something real. What they didn't know was who Thomas Grayson truly was. In 1944, Thomas was the last man to jump from a plane over Arnhem. He was 18, scared, and ready to die. He pulled 2 men out of a burning jeep with his bare hands, took 3 bullets, lost his best friend in a foxhole, spent 6 months in a POW camp eating rats. When he came home, he didn't talk about it. Not once, not even to his wife, until she died last year. That broke him, not just the loneliness, but the guilt. "I made it," he told Liam one night, when better men didn't. His legs gave out 6 months later, but his mind stayed sharp, and on his 93rd birthday, he asked Liam to take him to the palace. "One last salute," he said, "for the boys who never came back." Liam didn't expect the tourists to mock him. He didn't expect people to laugh. But what no one expected was the guard to respond. Private Jack Morley had stood guard 100 times, watched 1,000 people pose, joke, snap selfies. But when he saw Thomas saluting, really saluting, he saw his own grandfather. A paratrooper, lost in the Falklands, a man Jack never met, but wore on his heart every day. So Jack broke the rule. Not to impress, not for show, but because in that moment, duty looked like something different. That video spread like wildfire. Millions watched, some called it staged. Until the military confirmed it was real. Jack was called in for questioning. His hands didn't shake. "I'd do it again," he said. He thought he'd be dismissed. Instead, they promoted him. But what mattered most was the letter Jack received 3 days later. "Private Morley, I buried a lot of brothers. That day you brought one back. You didn't salute me. You saluted all of them. And for the first time in decades, I felt seen. Thank you. T. Grayson, 1st Parachute Brigade." A week later, Thomas passed away in his sleep. Peacefully, his hand resting on that folded letter. Jack flew in uniform to the funeral, saluted his coffin, and whispered, "At ease, sir." Now every new class of Queen's Guard watches that footage during training, not to warn them, but to remind them that sometimes honor means breaking formation, and sometimes a soldier in a wheelchair stands taller than them all. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel and hit that like button and drop a karma in the comments below.